Hey everyone, I've got a quick and easy one for you today. We're looking at the song My Testimony by Elevation Worship in the key of A. I've got my metronome set to 93. We'll be using that here in a second. But really what I want to focus on is verse 2. Verse 1, if you listen to the album, there's a lot of open space, a lot of anticipation, that you can really build up by keeping those open spaces in there. But in the second verse, the very first line says, I believe in signs and wonders. And we go from, in the key of A, we go from A to a D. So I'm going to play the part as it is originally on the album, or similar to that, with all the open spaces in the key of A, and then I'm going to do an overhead shot and explain what I'm doing. So this is in the key of A, verse 2, and 1, 2, ready, and signs and wonders. My praise belongs to you forever. And that's the end of the second verse. Okay. Now here's what I do differently during those open spaces in the first two lines. I actually fill it in with a little, a line that kind of it's similar in rhythm. Maybe not quite exactly, but it has a similar contour in shape to what the voice is the vocal part is doing. So here is what I like to do. Here is, again, I believe in signs and wonders. And 1, 2, ready, and believe in signs and tag that in. My praise belongs to you forever. Anyway, what I do there again is that little lick that sounds like this. And so I show you what that is, it's really simple. What I want you to get out of it is the use of space and filling it in, because whenever, depending on where you are as a musician, at some point you will go through this phase that we all go through, where you will try to overplay. Maybe you just learn this new lick or this new chord or this new drum, fill, whatever, and you want to plug it in whenever you can. And it can tend to get very, very cluttered if you're not careful. And so I think really, in addition to that little lick right there, that's very, very tasteful, I think, and it fits in with my testimony, the song, not my actual testimony, but it fits in. Really, what I want you to get out of that is how we're using the space and how we're filling it in with something, where there's nothing there. You don't want to cover up something else. And at the same time, you don't want to overdo that. So that's why I didn't do it in the first verse. And I don't like doing that in the first verse. After we go through the chorus and we come back to that again in the third verse, sometimes I'll do that differently. I'll go up an octave or whatever. But you don't want to overplay something as well, right? So it's just about creating little, licks like that where you can inject it when there's a little bit of space. You're not covering up the guitar, you're not covering up, most importantly, the vocal line. And so I really think it's important, that's more important than even playing this line right here. So as far as the notes here, we'll start off in A, and that's where that's the first chord. When we go to D, I like to use my left hand to start the riff, starting on an E, and it goes E, F sharp, A, B, C sharp, E, and then we come back down to a C sharp. So again, it'll be A, 2, 3, 4, D, and then once we go back to the A, when we land on that C sharp, that's actually either the third of the A or the fifth of the F sharp minor, depending on where you are in the verse. So again, that lick is it's actually built on a pentatonic scale for in the key of A. We're using those 5 notes there. Well, there you have it. That's a quick and easy little lick that you can put into the beginning of my testimony by Elevation and Worship. You're welcome to transpose that, play around with it, adapt it to however you want to do it to your version of the song. One thing I would just remind you that if you want to learn to play the whole song, that's not what this video is about. There are plenty of other resources online that you can look at. But if you want to play a little bit beyond what it's on the written music, or even what they do in the album, that's kind of what I wanted to share with you, and also look at the concept of being able to play in spaces like that. So look out for other places and other songs that you have where you can use the similar, technique of just filling up that open space in between vocal lines. That's a really good place to add something, and especially if it follows the contour, the shape of the rise and the fall of the vocal line. That's really what I wanted you to get out of that particular video. Now, I would ask that you go ahead and like and share this video if you think it's something that might help somebody out. I just encourage you to continue to just worship the Lord and bless other people with your music, and also be sure that you are trying to get out of that phase of just filling in excessively, especially if you have a big worship team. You want to make sure that you're adding and or even taking away depending on what is being played. Use your ears, listen, and most importantly, just continue to grow in the Lord and in your music. All right. Thanks. God bless.